Then I'm going to give you the link once you get in there. Okay, we are live. Hi, everybody. It's me, Delusion Dispeller. I have my guest, Ashton, here. As soon as I see her pop into the room, I'm going to give her the link to come on up. Just give me a moment to grab it. Okay, I copied that. I haven't been doing this for a long time, so I just got to try to remember exactly how it all works. All right, let's see. Copied on the clipboard. Okay, I did that wrong. Bear with me, y'all. Haven't done this in a while. Invite guest. Okay, I'm going to send you this link and hopefully this works. Just a sec. We're having all kinds of fun here. Welcome everybody in, whoever is here. I am not looking at the screen at the moment. Hopefully I set this up right so everybody can type. If you are in here and you can type into the chat, please do so, because I can't really see unless you do if I'm on. This is very nerve-wracking because it's been so long. Okay, let's see. P2. Typing in all this by hand. Once we get this up and running, we should be good. Hopefully. Okay, that's the link that you need to get in here. If I need to send it to your Gmail, let me know. What'd you say?
I'm going to hang up so I can try to...
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, love you. Bye. All right. Okay. Comments. There we go. There you are. Okay. So you need this link to get on here with me. Hey, Mary. Hey, Dolly. Welcome, welcome. As soon as I get Ashton up on here, we will commence. Hopefully it all works well. Hopefully Ashton can hear me. Says not found. Okay. Hang on. Let me see if I can do it this way. No, I don't want my referral link. Invite guest. Copy. Messenger. Hang on, y'all. We'll figure this out. That's not going to work. Okay. Ashton, can you click on the link in, let me see, show? Can you click on that link somehow? Are you able to? I'll try to put it in the actual chat too. Hopefully it doesn't play my voice. It will. It's on you. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see. I'll do it this way. Oh, it is in there. One more time. All right, click on that link, Ashton. Yeah, it'll boot you out of the chat and put you up on the screen. It should. Can you hear me okay? Oh, did you just pop in? There you are.
Hi.
Hi, Ashton.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. So Ashton is all bandaged up because she's going through an EEG, is it?
Yes, an EEG.
Because Ashton has had a lot of stress in her life, and her official diagnosis involves complex post-traumatic stress disorder with, what did you say it was called?
It's called, oh my gosh, conversion symptoms.
Conversion symptoms, which means she's knocked out for quite a while. And as you will hear from her story, what knocked her out was the extreme stress of the hell on earth she's been going through. And I don't usually talk like that, but honestly, there is no better way to classify what this poor girl and her family, her three children, are going through right now. So, Ashton, let me welcome you, first of all, to the Delusion Dispeller channel, Voice for the Voiceless, because you have not been given a voice in so many ways. And I'm hoping that this live stream gives you a voice and hopefully some support as well. So thank you for being here and trusting us with your story. You are in control of this whole chat today. Please share only what you're comfortable sharing. And if you need to pause or stop, that's perfectly okay. People here have been through it too. So we've all kind of got our story to tell. You go ahead and tell what you want to tell. And I'm just going to be the silent listener here. And if I have questions, I will ask you as we go.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Laura. We used to work together, first of all. That's how we met. We used to work in a call center together a long time ago.
Yep.
So I actually, when I first met her, was just starting a relationship with this guy. And his name, I'll keep his name out actually. But he ended up becoming the father of two of my children. And he was like the stepfather role of my oldest because he was in his life since he was a year old. He, through time, it came out that I had bipolar disorder and PTSD as well. And there was a suicide attempt I did in 2015 because he started getting more and more controlling the longer we were together. He cut off ties with me and my family, and me and any friends. He messed with my medications. He did all of these horrible things. And he sexually assaulted me like every day. And if I left him, then if I wanted to see my children, I would have to perform for him in order to see my children because he got custody because of my mental health. So I was able to escape that situation. It was heartbreaking for me. I had to leave my children in order to go and find a safe place for us to leave and go to. I, through the work, a lot of work in different programs, and I met a wonderful man who's now my partner, my fiance, who I plan on marrying when we have our finances right and everything. But he let me stay at his place, and I got on my feet. I was able to get a house. I established visitation in order to show the courts that, there was like a stable, like I was showing stability and all these things. So I could disprove everything that Andrew had stated in the courts about me. Right. And so I was able to do that, and I got the kids back. He didn't even show up to court, actually. At the end of the day, I got the kids back, all three of them back. And I told them I was taking them away. I had to pick them up on the spring break. They had no idea. And I sprung it on them there. Like I came to their school and I said, I'm taking you home and I'm taking you to a safe place. Through the year of them being here, it's been about a year and a half now. It's come out that my middle child is definitely diagnosed with PTSD. He had to be hospitalized for a week at Montrose because of an episode he had involving remembering an incident of his father throwing him into a wall. So and then another incident came up where my daughter mentioned at school her biological father inappropriately touching her. So we were able then to change what we had was just a parental agreement in the beginning into what we had a no protection order, and so that no protection order, he showed up for the first two court hearings, but the third court hearing, I had Chicago Legal Aid on my side, and they showed up to represent us, and he brought my estranged abusive parents instead of a lawyer to represent him. That was his tactic, was to try to get me to go into a manic episode, honestly. but it didn't work. I stayed on Zoom. I didn't go to court in person, and I was able to win. And because the third time he was supposed to come back with the lawyer, he just didn't come back at all. He just gave up and defaulted again. So he defaulted on the no contact. So we should have been celebrating this. Like, we should have been happy. We have a safe home. Now we have a no contact order. We should have been there. But unfortunately, that was not the case. The same week that the no contact order got approved, I found out my son had been horrifically attacked at school. I did not know the extent of it originally. My son was very embarrassed and didn't at, at first share in great detail what had happened to him. He just said that the kids had poked him with a stick and it had touched him on his anus, like, so it was my understanding, like, through the pants, behind, poked and like accidentally got him between the cheeks and got him, but still intensive bullying. And so wanted to follow up with the school about this. I meant to call the next day, but I went into an episode because I was so overwhelmed at just the nature of it, having gone through sexual assault myself and then finding out my son potentially is the victim of a sexual assault. When I told him I was bringing him here for safety, it was heartbreaking. I felt like I failed my son. I sent him to school, still not understanding the full story, and I wish I hadn't sent him to school the next day, because the school bus ride home, it was the same kids who had done it, and they were calling him terrible words, and I'm sorry to even say this word out loud, but they were calling him a faggot, and just continuously just making fun of him. And he came home and he was in tears, and I told him he didn't have to go to school the next day. I thought that school ended on Friday. The next day was a Thursday. I called the school. I did not understand that was the last day. My kids had given me wrong dates, and so just confusion between talking to the kids and everything. But I asked why nothing was done, because my son reported it to a supervisor that this incident had happened. Upon talking with the school and further talking with my son, I found out that it was a gang of boys who attacked my son, not just one or two, but like they couldn't even, like, they wouldn't tell me how many, but they kept emphasizing that kids were in and out of the office all day long. Boys, especially boys. Boys were in and out of the office all day long. I didn't hear about any girls in this attack, just boys. And what they did was, he was resting under a tree, minding his own business. My son tries very hard to just be as impossible as he can, like, not impossible, but invisible. He holds so much self-hatred and low self-worth because of what he's been through and what he's witnessed and what he's been just gone through, and he holds such a low value of himself, and he just wants to be left alone. He just wants to live his life. He just wants to heal from everything that happened to us already. But these kids were relentless. They bullied him all year long on the bus, making horrible comments. And then it all led up to this finale at the end of the year, like, we're going to get him good thing. And I guess they surrounded him. Some kids were kicking dirt at him. Other kids were poking him in the back with a stick. And other kids were, like, laying near him and making sexually charged comments like, do you want some BBC? Which I guess means big black cock. Again, excuse my language. I'm just using the words they use. They were asking about his masturbating, and, like, I bet you masturbate to this, and, like, other just very sexually charged comments. And then one of the students from behind takes a stick and shoved it between his cheeks, trying to anally penetrate him with the stick. My son jumped up from the pain and looked around to see what just did that. And the kid had removed the stick as quickly as he could and ran off and hid. And so Owen couldn't even find who had perpetrated this against him, because there were so many kids already attacking him. And, like, during this assault, this kid named Peter, who's been a friend to Owen, he's seen in the video twice trying to come up and help my son and help get these kids away. And the school actually, like, as if they were like satisfied that Peter had done this, which I think it's sad that Peter had to do this. Peter pushed one of the kids at one point away from Owen, and they said it wasn't one of the kids with the sticks, but he must have said something because Peter pushed him away from Owen. And they're like, so, isn't that great that Peter did that? And I'm like, where's the supervision though? Yeah, I'm glad that one kid, came up and helped my son and tried to help my son, but like, where was the supervisor? So, like, after he had been violated the way he was violated, he and the boy who tried to help him went to the supervisor for recess, Miss Wingenhoff, and reported to her everything that had happened. So, he came home that day and he asked me if I had heard, and I told him no, like I didn't know anything about it, like what was going on, and that's why again that misunderstanding about how serious it was came in place because I'm like, well, if the school didn't call me, like maybe it was just an accident, like kids messing around, and like I even downplayed it to myself. I think I was still upset, but I was downplaying the incident to myself on how serious it must have been since the school did not react. But that
Right.
is not the case. That is not the case. The
Mm-mm.
school failed to react. The teacher did not report it to anybody when my son came to him, even though the whole thing is captured on camera, the whole incident, even him jumping from the plane, um, even him asking for help. He all of that's captured. Um, and I asked why didn't she report it? And their only answer for that is, well, we're sorry, we're trying to get to the bottom of that ourselves. And they don't have an answer. And when I called them about this on Thursday, I called them first thing in the morning. I didn't get a call till the end of the school day, and I'd been waiting, like just waiting by my phone to hear like what is happening because of the comments with the faggot comments, and then the day before, like what is going on? I need answers. And it was at the end of the day they finally called me to tell me they did review the footage because they told me they were going to pull the footage, and all they could tell me was that it was horrific and it was heartbreaking, and that they don't like to use the term bullying often. But in this case, they will make the exception and use the term bullying. Even though they're middle school principals, they don't
Oh,
like to use the term bullying often when middle school is like breeding grounds for bullying. I don't even know a worse place for bullying than middle school, honestly. And
mm-hmm.
so I was shocked by that comment. I was shocked by the amount of students that were involved because again I didn't understand that either, and I just started crying. I cried for my son. I felt like I failed him. I put him in a place where he got hurt worse, and the next day I tried to call back to get actual answers, because I didn't really get answers. I just got told this is what happened and there's
Right.
going to be severe consequences, but not what the consequences are. No kids were expelled. No,
Right.
like nothing actually tangible happened. And the only thing I've been able to find out through the calls that I've made is there is a parallel between the kids on the bus that he rides with and the kids that attacked him. I
Mm-hmm.
can't know the names, but they're preparing the video footage for me, because I contacted the district myself. That's the next step I had to take. I contacted the district because I was not happy with the school's responses about any of this, and I found out the school failed to even report it to the district so that it could be properly investigated under a Title IX investigation, which is for sexual misconduct and things like that that occur at schools, and is like a necessary protocol anytime there's anything sexual that happens on school grounds, is this a Title IX investigation. But Algonquin did not reach the district for this. I was the one who contacted the district, and then the district launched this investigation that they're going to do. And they keep telling me on Thursday they're going to talk to me about solutions to make it better. But here I am. There are no solutions to making it better because kids live in our neighborhood.
Right.
Like one of them that I've been able to confirm was in the group lives down the street and knows exactly where we live. My son is terrified to leave the house. He's terrified. to go to the playground, go to the swimming pool. He doesn't know if any of these boys will be there. He doesn't know if he's going to get attacked again. Our safety that I worked 3 years to provide for my children is gone. It's just gone. And I have to move. And on top of that, I got a letter from the people who helped me get the housing because of the issues. I won't get into politics, but the issues with the new administrations and stuff. Vouchers are harder to come by and harder to get. And I literally was given a piece of mail that said it was mailed out May 29th, and it said I was supposed to return that piece of mail by May 1st. So, like, that's how hard the programs are becoming, to get help from. And, like, I understand it's because of budget cuts. It's because of what's going on in our country. So, we have that issue. I, right now, have to either submit my paperwork and say that I'm going to stay here another year and in our safe home, the safe home we've been provided, that is no longer safe. Or I have to find another place that accepts a voucher with the same amount of rooms and the same rent cost, which we live on the outside of Chicago. So that's a very difficult thing to find. They don't give you a list. You have to find the place on your own. And then I have to file the paperwork from there. And so this is all due on the 28th of June. I received this letter June 3rd or 4th. And then I found out about the incident on June 3rd. So, like, literally, while I'm finding out about this incident, I'm finding out I have to renew my housing now. So I have to move. That's the only option. My son will never feel safe here again. Like that. I shouldn't have had to remove him from a place where he felt safe in school, but afraid at home, to a place where he feels loved at home, but afraid at school. He should be able to have both. He should be both loved at home and cared for in his school. Like, he shouldn't have to pick one or the other, which is worse to live with. And, like, after all of this, one of the principals even commented that my son needs to learn to advocate better for himself. And I'm just like, how can he advocate better for himself than what he did? He came to a supervisor. He told them what happened. They failed to file anything. So, like, how is that his fault? So they're now victim shaming and blaming my son for his actions and in this when he did nothing wrong from the very start. And so I'm stuck in this situation where I've been saving for a house. My credit score is great. Like, I've been working really hard to be able to provide a house for my kids. I just thought I had more time. I thought I had like 2 or 3 more years to save to get for a down payment for a house up here because it's more expensive up here and the cost of living is. But I want to keep them in the suburb because of everything we experience back home. I would like to keep them in the whole suburbia type feel because they do feel safer. But with that comes a cost. And I can't afford to move back to the Quad Cities because I will be a wreck. I can't even drive there without passing out the entire way. So every time my kids did have visits, I was unconscious in the car and my partner was driving us, there. And he's been the main help that I've had through all of this. I have no family support. My parents are my original abusers. And we came here to hide from everybody. And, like, another issue that we're facing is that they publicly posted my address because I have this voucher through a government program. They made my address posted online. And so I've had harassment from my ex's family and from my own family, calling the police, doing welfare checks, making the kids afraid. Constantly, if somebody knocks on the door, who's it going to be? What's it going to be for? Why? Just terrified, honestly. So you're playing with the screen.
I'm trying to make you the center, not me. So
you're good. I look like a mummy. So but it's just this whole situation is just so unfair. it is unfair. I worked so hard to try to give them the safety that they needed, and the school failed us. And I want to, in turn, sue the school for not following proper protocol for a sexual assault that happened on their grounds.
Definitely.
And um, I spoke with the liaison officer about this, and he did say after Thursday, if I'm not happy with these solutions that the district is going to come up, I don't know what solution they can come up with that's going to be where he feels safe enough to go to the park and safe enough to go to school and safe at home. I don't see any kind of solution they could come up with at this point. It's a little bit too late. I mean, he's been full on assaulted now. Like,
Right.
it's past bullying. It's a
Yeah.
crime.
Oh,
And
for sure.
yeah, it's just absolutely horrifying. And we don't get to know the names. We don't get to know anything. They just wanted to keep us in the dark. They didn't want to give us the video footage. Because I contacted the district, they're now getting the video footage ready for me. And I have told the district my feelings about, like, I need to move. I only have like 18 days to get this paperwork in and decide, am I staying or am I going? If I stay, then I have to pay full rent. If I don't put in the paperwork, if I put in the paperwork, then I have to stay for another year. If I don't put in the paperwork, and like I said, I'll have to pay full rent, and then I have to find a house. I have to find
Right.
a house to buy, and I don't have enough money right now for a down payment. I just I have money saved. It's not that I don't have money saved. I just was not expecting this fast, this quickly. And after having to take their father to court and all the other things that we've had to do, you know, um, I money's gone other places to get these kids back here. Like, I've
Yeah.
had to spend a lot of money to just get them back home with me. And it's been a really, really tough road. Um, I'm just horrified for my son, though, because I feel like I failed him. I feel like I brought him up here and I told him I was gonna keep him safe, and that's not what happened. That's not what
Right.
happened all year long, and he wasn't safe all year. All year, they were relentlessly bullying him, and we went to the school, we talked with the school, we had conversations. They assured us it was better, it was getting better. He sees the social worker every week. He sees a therapist every week that comes to the school even, and like now we meet him at the library on Mondays, so they can still see him during the summer. Like, we have been proactive in getting these kids all the healing that they need, but if they cannot give them an environment in which that's possible, then, like, everything that I've done is for nothing.
Yeah.
It's for nothing because his self-esteem right now is so low. And when I told him that it was caught on camera and, like, that kids were going to be punished for this, he just said in, like, the saddest, just broken voice of, it's just kids being kids. Just, I probably deserved it. Or, and just, there goes that shaming that comes with people who have survived abuse, and they're putting those false beliefs and instilling it in his head that they're true, that he deserves less, that he is less than, that he deserves to be treated like this. And even the kids who were attacking him made fun of his depression and said that he'd acted depressed just for attention, when really he just wants to be left alone and he
Yeah.
just wants to heal because he's had a really hard life and he does not deserve this.
Mm-mm. No kid does. Nobody does, really.
Nobody does. No, nobody deserves this. And then on top, it's just on top of that, he already exerts signs for PTSD, according to his therapist. Um, for the documentation that I got for the OP, he already shows signs for that. They cannot fully diagnose him at the time just because of how he's holding back, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
He's still got a wall up. And so they see the signs and they say, be aware, that he shows signs for this.
Hmm.
But, like, we cannot fully diagnose yet because he's just not opening up fully enough for us to be able to do that. But um, in my heart of hearts, I believe he has PTSD. I see him react to things in ways that I would react, in
Yeah.
the past. And I made horrible choices growing up because I had abusive parents. I got kicked out at 15. I've been on my own. And it like took me until I was 32 and found the man of my dreams. And I know it sounds like a fairy tale, but he swooped me up and he took me away from this horrible apartment where, again, I was actually assaulted and it was in the news, unfortunately. And that went to trial. Um, it was a man I didn't even know. Um, that was an unfortunate situation, but it brought me to my fiance I have now. It was our second date, and
Wow.
he let me come home and stay at his house to get on my feet because the incident had just happened the night before. And I was too scared to leave my apartment because I didn't know where the guy was. And so when Zach came, I like ran down to him, and then I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna just because it's just you know, another notch in the belt, another bad thing that happened. We
Yeah.
know that getting justice for these things is a very difficult thing to happen. And
Very.
so a lot of victims just keep their mouth shut and keep
Yeah.
going. And that was my full intention. But I broke down and I cried and I wept to him and told him everything. And um, we ended up calling the police and tried to get help there, but no justice was served there. He got off. Even though there was DNA evidence, he got
Good.
off on the charge. But it brought me here to Chicago, where I was able to lay root and I was able to get a safe home. But now that's destroyed. So I don't know where I go from that here. I don't know
Right.
where
Do you have anybody that is like an advocate for you? Do you have a therapist or anybody that will be a voice for you in
I
all this?
have my therapist, but unfortunately she's newer. My
Mm.
old therapist had to leave, took a job for a prison, which I was like, I don't know why you did that because he had long hair. I was like, no,
Yeah.
but just you know, just a joke there. But so he took a job for the prison, and I got a new therapist. She seems nice, and I work with her weekly. I'm talking with her tomorrow, so I have that support, and I have my doctor, my psychiatrist. She's
Hmm.
very supportive. I can text her an emergency, and she'll actually text me back. And I don't
Yeah.
know many psychs that will like text you.
Right.
So I'm very, very fortunate to have her support. But the biggest support that I have of all is from Zach, the person who
Mhm.
brought me up here and the person I plan to marry. And and somebody just knocked on our door. Oh no. um, babe, will you go answer it outside, okay? Thank you. So we'll see what that's about. I'm sure it has something to do with all of this.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get things figured out, trying to figure out how to get them the right help and get the help we need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. How can we help? How can this channel and the people here, if they are able, how can they help out with
If
this?
they could just spread the link and spread the story, the more people that read it, the more support that we get. Like, even if people are donating a penny, and a million people see it, it's a million pennies, like
Great.
it's
That's great.
something and it'll help. It'll help. Anything will help. You just, even if you don't have money, like, don't donate it if you don't have money. I don't want to take anyone's money that they can't afford to give. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel horrible even asking to do a GoFundMe, but I just don't know what else to do in this situation. And so the more people that find out, the better. And I'm in contact with the media as well, and letting them know that this incident occurred and the protocols that were missed in
Hmm.
helping the children.
That's good. That's really good. Um, let's see. Did you want to share anything about the things that you've been through? I know you said at one point you wanted to kind of share your story as well. I didn't know if you wanted to now or keep
Yeah.
it over.
Oh, so I got combat boots on and I'm sitting Indian style. My legs are cramping up. My story is pretty much, um, I come from what's called FSA abuse. I forget what that all stands for, but it pretty much stands for, scapegoating. It's scapegoating abuse. Family scapegoating abuse is FSA abuse. So no matter what you do in your family, you're the problem. no matter what happens, and no matter if you were right or wrong, you're the problem and it's all your fault. So I was kicked out at 15 after I was raped. That's how my parents responded is they called me a whore. I was a virgin at the time. They called me a whore. And my dad, he started dealing with epileptic episodes and they blamed that on me. They said that the stress I caused the family was causing my dad to be sick.
Mm.
What? Oh, I'm so sorry. Apparently there's a 20. Oh, yeah, the guy who committed the crime. Sorry. My fiance just answered the door and I was wondering who it was at the door. But the guy who committed the crime against me, he was I believe 22, I was 15. So it was statutory no matter what. My parents could have pressed charges, but in the state of Illinois, if your parents don't press the charges, like as a minor, you don't have any right to press charges on your own. And that's what the police told me. And so I had to like figure out emancipation in order for that. And I didn't know how to even do any of that at the age of 15. I was very lost and my parents kicked me out. I didn't even know my rights to be able to turn them in for doing that because like that was illegal for them to even do.
Right.
I've been on my own ever since. So for them to show up seriously to support my abuser at court is just another slap in the face because here we are 15 years later and they're still supporting the people that hurt me and telling me that I'm the problem, even though in this situation, like the order of protection that was received under the fact that he had touched my daughter inappropriately and then listed August, week he stayed at Montrose in the episode he had. And then I listed Owen and him talking about getting thrown to the floor and getting an Xbox thrown at him and other things that they've endured. Drinking urine, that was another thing. All three of my children were forced to drink in my ex's. I almost said his name. My
Oh,
ex's urine. I accidentally said his name a few times by now. My mistake. But anyway, um, he did a lot of horrible things to them. And so I put the order in, I listed all the things that I could. And at the end, I did list my sexual assaults and what he did to me personally, because it did correlate with what my daughter was saying was happening to her. So I felt it was important to include what
mm-hmm.
he had done to me as well.
Yeah.
By not accepting or by defaulting, it's him legally accepting blame for all the things that I listed. So actually, and now he didn't contest it. So it's officially gone through 2 years of no contact. So he's taken blame for everything, for taking my medications, for sexually assaulting me to see the kids, for touching my daughter inappropriately, for making them drink urine, for scaring them about rent. He would tell them that he wasn't going to pay rent money unless they cleaned his room. He treated them like slaves. He took apart their bed and left it on the ground, one mattress, the twin mattress, and he took the full size mattress for himself. It was a bunk bed I bought them.
Mm.
He took that apart and stole their bed and like just left them a twin for the three of them to share on the ground.
Wow. Can you see the comments at all, Ashton?
No, I can't. I shouldn't.
Okay. Dolly said, Ashton, I will pray for you. I'm very ill at the moment myself. Most of my medical has been cut off too due to cuts. Only way I got out of my toxic family, I got married at 16. We did what we had to do. I left my mom and dad and only sibling and never looked back. Best of luck to you and yours. You are worthy and blessed.
Thank you, Dolly. That's so sweet. And I totally understand what you're saying. And that's what I'm trying to do. So that's another positive that if I move, the lawyers that I have right now working for my case to fight against Andrew, because we're not done yet. We need to
Right.
change the child like agreement, yeah,
Hmm.
his visitation, so that after the 2 years are over, the children are still protected.
Right.
So we have more work to do. And part of what they can do is if I move, they can shield my address, put a different address up online, and nobody will know where I live. And so my parents cannot keep doing what they're doing and keep seeking me out, not to speak to me, not to find out what's going on with the kids, but to like send the police to my house or send DCFS to my house on false allegations. Like they've done this multiple times.
Wow.
Yeah, so it would protect us from everybody. It would protect us from everybody. Moving would protect us from everybody. And so the more people that find out what happened and why it's so important for us to move, the background of it, like I went through 32 years of being lost and trying to figure it out. So I understand completely what Dolly's saying. It
Mm.
took me that long. And I was angry. I felt like I missed a lot of my life
Yeah.
just trying to figure things out. And I made a lot of mistakes, like terrible ones. I even used drugs at a certain point, like I was numbing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was not well. I was not acting well. Um, he had me shoplifting, and in my head I had it like I'm stealing from Walmart. They're bad people, so
Yeah.
I'm helping my family. But no, that's all illegal and wrong and shouldn't be done. And he was using my manic side and
Mm-hmm.
like taking away my medications and then putting it in my head that I needed to do this. And the way that he first got me to do it was he refused to pay for baby formula, and I didn't know what to do. And he told me I needed to steal it, and that's how it all started. And so now I have charges that I have against my name that I'm working to get expunged, because a lot of the actions that I did out of direction from him,
Yeah.
and he never got in any trouble. I always kept him safe. Yeah, and that's the way that I thought I would go too, because my parents use drugs and alcohol as well, and I thought that I wouldn't use as the same, but after it was terrible. The school found out about the rape as well because I went to the school first, who went to my parents, and it was the thing. The school, I went to a private school, and there were like 26 students in the high school. That's it. And it was a very private school. They held a rape assembly where they handed out rape whistles, and people chased me around with whistles and were blowing them at me and harassing me the rest of the school year. I begged for my parents to send me to public school, and it was during this time that, and my coping mechanism before was writing because I didn't want drugs or alcohol. I thought they were terrible and horrible because of my parents. Um, but the person who raped me, he pretended he wrote me this poem, and then after the rape and everything, I looked it up online only to find out, it was copied off of some poem online, and I felt so stupid that I
Mm-hmm.
literally haven't written much like since. I felt so idiotic to believe that that man wrote that for me, and that I felt like such a dumb kid. And so I lost my coping mechanism and I started cutting, and then I turned to taking pills. And I was like, at least I'm not doing coke, at least I'm not doing smoking weed and drinking a bunch. I'm just taking pills. Like I would
Right.
again put it in my head that this is okay. When no, it's not okay. And I don't need pills anymore. Don't need pills. I don't need drugs. I don't need alcohol. I don't need any of that. It turns out I just needed some support.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like now that I'm receiving support and like genuine love from somebody, I can say without a shred of doubt that I didn't even know what love was until I met Zach.
That makes
And
sense.
that kind of love, you know what I mean? I love my children,
Yeah.
love my children with all my heart, but romantically, I did not know what a healthy romantic love was until I met him,
Mm-hmm.
and so I regret the decisions and choices I made as a reaction. I regret the things that I did, but I fought so hard to make them right. I went into a 14-month religion-based, faith-based program. I graduated from that program. Um, I finished all my stuff for court. I graduated from that all successfully. It did everything that I was supposed to do because I wanted to make things right. I wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to do good. And like I returned back to my ex right before Corona hit. And it was when I was locked in with him at Corona, um, it just became so bad. And that's when these episodes started happening, where I
Yeah.
would lose consciousness. Is was since being locked in during Corona. But yeah, so when you're just raised to believe you're nothing and then you're kicked out and thrown away like garbage,
Right.
um, my fiance always refers to it as um finding a diamond in the garbage. Somebody just threw a diamond away.
Mm.
And and that's why I have this tattoo actually of the thing, yeah, the diamond is a reference to that, and the purple is a survivor color, peace
Wow.
color. So yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
also
really
helped.
meaningful.
Yeah, he helped me get that done. And he's gonna help me with the housing. Like he plans on co-signing with the house and helping with the money that he has, but he doesn't have enough saved up either.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of us trying to figure that out. But he's been so instrumental in me finding my own voice. And like you having a channel like this is such a big deal
Mm.
because there's so many of us who just we don't feel like we matter. And then nobody cares about us. The system fails us. The system just lets us slip through the cracks, and I
Very,
I will not let that happen to my son
that's
like it
good.
did with me. I will not. I
You
want
need
him
to
to have
keep
a
fighting
future.
for him. You're his voice, And yeah, the schools are not known for schools are a mess right now. They are a big time mess. And I've been through stuff in the schools. I mean, growing up, schools were not like this. They took action, they did stuff, but now everybody's so sue happy, the parents, and they don't want to admit and take accountability for their children being messed up because they're the ones that messed them up. So,
It's
that's a hard thing. That's why I homeschooled a couple of mine because the stuff that happened to my kids also was very abusive from the teachers and the students. And
yeah.
that was not even as bad as what your kid went through and
I'm
your
still
kids are
shocked to
going.
hear what you had gone through and as well. And, seeing how the district is just like pretty much saying like, yeah, you could sue us, but like you could just choose not to. And it's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
why? Why would I choose not to at this point? Are you gonna help me move? Like,
Right.
if you're gonna help me move, then no, I don't need to. But if you're not gonna help me move, what options do I have if I don't raise enough money? Like, I have no other options other than to try to look at suing you
Yeah.
for negligence. I pretty much feel like it'd be negligence of doing their job
Mhm. At
of
the least. At
at
the
the least,
least.
and I feel like it's failure to report a crime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it definitely was a crime for sure. Dolly wrote to you again.
Oh, yes. I think that getting professional help is a huge step. I'm actually working on going to see my therapist twice a week now. Well, I
That's
do
great.
telehealth because I can be agoraphobic sometimes
Mhm.
with all the stress and stuff. I feel like I want to stay here. And I think you're right. Church is a wonderful place to go. I don't know, though, of a church in my area yet. I need to find somewhere. If anybody's familiar with the outside Northwest Chicago region of anywhere great around here, I would love to start going back to church.
Let me see what I can find for you. I'm pretty good at doing referral type stuff.
That's awesome because I
Yeah,
would love to
definitely.
find a church and get some church support, honestly.
Yeah, because
That
you
would be
can be
amazing.
you can share stuff with me and it's not going any further anyways, and that way I
Mhm.
can kinda pinpoint around where you live and find places that are there,
Yeah.
'cause they might even be willing to kind of protect you. You never know.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So that is definitely something that's a great idea, Dolly. That is a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Dolly. That's what we're looking for is ideas, suggestions, input, whatever you
anything
guys can do.
anything you think I should be doing or anything I could be doing, because I just don't even know. I don't know what I don't know up from down right now. And
Yeah.
I'm really just I have been praying, for guidance and direction. Oh,
Mhm.
um a beautiful place, but you can share with others. Yes. And I've been to some great churches back at the Quad Cities, but since I moved up here, like I said, I don't know any churches that
Right.
would fit well with our family. But I want to because thankfully my ex was atheist and taught my children that God did not exist and that it was stupid to believe in God.
Mm,
And I've been able to alter their thinking on that and
that's great.
really help them open up to the idea of God. and letting God in, because honestly, I say without Zach's support, none of this would have been possible. Without God bringing Zach into my life, none of this would have been possible. God opened the doorway. I had to walk through, but he opened the doorway. And I know there's a doorway somewhere that he wants me to open, but I just don't know which one it is, which direction I'm supposed to go. It's really hard. Um, and I'm praying on it, but I just keep coming to the conclusion I have to move. So, that's where I'm at right now. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool that your priest comes every Friday. That's really cool. My fiance was Catholic as well. Honestly, before I met him, he was Catholic. During his college years, he chose to join Catholicism and learn all about Catholicism. Though he does not actively practice Catholicism at the moment, he's still a God-fearing man, and I'll tell you, the difference between being with a God-fearing man and atheistic man is very huge in
Oh,
itself.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, much more love and compassion and understanding comes from men who lead their hearts by God's will and not by their own will,
That's
you
so
know.
cool. Yep.
So that's
Is
it.
there anything else you want to share about your children, your family, yourself, or anything?
I don't know. Other than like these 3 kids are amazing. They do not deserve this. They
Mm-mm.
have been through so much, and they were so excited at the idea of being safe here and excited at the idea of a new life. And I don't want to fail at what I promised them. And I I will not fail. I am determined not to fail. I will provide them the safety they deserve. They're brilliant, smart, funny, compassionate, loving, just amazing kids. And especially Owen, like he's all about supporting everybody. He knows that I've been sexually assaulted, unfortunately. He had witnessed some things that have happened and asked me questions about it, and we had to have a difficult talk.
Yeah.
But he cried, and then he thanked me because he said he needed answers. And I
How
was
old are your children now?
he is 12, so I know young. He's still young, and you even have those conversations, but he acts like he's 35. He acts older than me.
He's
I guess
been
I just turned 35. So
wow.
he acts old though, and he's got an old soul for sure. And then on my other son, he just turned 10, and that's the one who had to stay at the mental health hospital for a week based on his PTSD episode with his memories. And
Yeah.
then my youngest, she is 7, and she's a little spitfire. She's a delight, but she has got tons of personality. She's not afraid to say what's on her mind or how it is, and that is how we got the order of protection, is because Iris was brave and stepped forward and said, my dad touched me here and here, and I know that's not supposed to happen. And, she stood up for herself and what she knew was right and wrong. And because of her and the bravery of a 7-year-old girl, we're protected now from him.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
awesome. Wow.
she's amazing. And I want her to see that, like, the system won't fail you. Even though the system is the way it is, I want to show my kids that justice does exist,
Yeah,
that you
definitely.
can get help and you can um, be loved and appreciated and cared about. There are plenty of good people in this world. This world is not all terrible people,
That's
but
true.
all they've been able to see is mostly terrible people
Mhm.
most of their life. And so I want to affirm to them, and church would be a great, Dolly, again, church would be a great idea for taking them there to help find some,
Mhm.
God-led and spirited people to bring into our lives to help my children forge friendships and strengthen their relationship with the Lord, honestly. So that
Definitely.
would be incredible. That's a really good idea, Dolly. I'm, like, really stuck on that. That's a really, really good idea. I
Yeah, I'll help you with that for
That's
sure.
really good. I haven't thought about it because I've been dealing with just adjusting the kids to up here and, like,
Sure.
fighting the court stuff and all of that, and I just but honestly, having a fellowship would be amazing since I don't have any support, a family where I'm at, and unfortunately, Zach's family has chose not to accept me as part of the family due to my background. They think he should find more of a normal girl.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm in the same position with my husband, so
Oh, really? So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they look down on me for my
Mhm,
past, and, they won't accept even though he's accepted my children as his own and he wants to adopt them, we reach a point where he can adopt them after we marry,
mhm.
he wants all those things, but, um, his family still won't accept my kids as really being their grandchildren, so
Yeah,
it's sad.
that's sad. It's
Yeah,
very sad. It happens a
so
lot, though.
it does,
Yeah,
and that's the other thing. So we get thrown out, treated like trash, and maybe some of us don't react the best, make poor decisions, and then we're judged forever based on those decisions, even though we didn't have much of a start to begin with. You know,
yeah,
the
for
the
sure.
odds were always against me.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're right. They won't make new friends, and I think I really think that's a great idea, Dolly. I'm really excited for that. I really think that could be helpful. But if anybody else can just spread this link, spread the story, explain why this is necessary, why we need to be put in safety. It's not, it, yes, it has to do with my son being aggressively attacked, sexually assaulted is a real word. The school does not want to use that word, but let's be real. He was sexually assaulted. If you take a stick and you shove it in somebody's butt cheeks trying to penetrate them, that's a sexual assault.
it
So
definitely is.
um, you know, just spreading, you know, on top of him already having PTSD, um, it just shatters all the safety that I built. It's just shattered, and we have to move. There's just no other alternative. I have to move.
Yeah,
Finding a church will be amazing, and I think that's a great place to start so that we have a community and a fellowship in the future. And maybe something that I could have or should have done better when I set up here was getting that fellowship in place. But I knew I had to at least get my kids to start believing God first.
well, yeah, and you had to have trust. You've been so hurt. Totally understandable you don't trust people you're not sure. I get that. I've been through that too. There's a promise for you, and the Lord just laid that on my heart for you. He knows what you're going through, and He has good plans and a future and a hope for you. So
Mhm.
I'm believing, and I believe other people that believe the Bible will believe with me that things are only going to get better from here.
Thank you
No
so
more
much.
abuse, no more torment, no more torture, none of this.
We
It's
just
all
want
going to
to end
start
it.
turning around
We just want to end it. We just want to live peacefully, and that's it. Like, I don't want to have to charge these kids and like put kids in jail, and
for
like
sure.
I don't want it to have to go down that road. But like, if we aren't getting the assistance we need, I'm gonna have to go down that road.
Mhm.
And I mean, the kid who shoved the stick, I feel like definitely should have charges against him.
Oh, for sure.
And
I
I've already been speaking with police about that.
That's good.
Um, yeah, they said that there's no issue charging there. But it's just like, do I really want to do that to a child? Like, putting guilt on me for wanting justice for my child, that I'm going to ruin another child's future if I do this. So honestly, what we just want to do is live peacefully, just be somewhere where nobody knows where we are. We own our own home. We don't have to worry about voucher program. We don't have to worry about if it's going to disappear or what's going to happen
Mhm.
the next day. Buy a house, stay there, live there, live. We just want to live. That's it.
Makes sense. Yeah, for
Well, we
sure.
just want to live our lives. That's all.
I get
Mm.
it.
So I appreciate you even just letting me take time to come on here and speak with people about
Of
this,
course.
and especially a group of people that understands,
Yeah.
understands what this pain is like and
Mhm.
what growing up in a life like that. is light, you know, and
Yeah.
it is powerful to be able to connect with others. And I appreciate you all.
We appreciate you coming on and sharing your story for sure. For your courage and your openness. And we honor your voice and your story. You're not alone. There are many people here that have been through a lot of really horrendous things, even just online. The bullying is absolutely, even in this community, there's been a lot of harassment. There was a person recently, not from our community here, but on YouTube. I think they were rappers or something. One of them killed the other one and his
Yeah.
wife or his girlfriend. Yeah, it's brutal. This world is a really tough place to live in. And I'm glad to give you a format where you can be heard, because a lot of us have been silenced in our abuse and made to feel like it is our fault. But we know better. We know it's not. We don't want our kids growing up feeling that they deserved any type of abuse at all. That's not
Mhm.
what we're here or created for by any means.
Yeah.
I just want to let people know. Make sure Dolly's message gets up there too.
I agree. He needs some kind of therapy because that's not a
Yeah.
normal action of a boy to do.
Oh, yes, for sure. And they'll give it to him even if he goes to juvie. They will definitely make sure he gets that.
Yeah.
Um, if you guys feel more comfortable donating to my GoFundMe and you put Ashton on it, I will make sure that it gets sent to her. Or I'm also posting her link on my community page. So if you want to help her out there, either way, any little bit helps. She even said if you want to give a penny, whatever you can do. And I know a lot of people here have helped me out, and I appreciate you for that so much. But obviously, Ashton is in dire need of help for her and her 3 children and her husband or fiance. I mean, and we just
We
appreciate
will be
any.
married. We will be married
I'm
eventually.
hoping to go to the wedding.
Yes, yes. We are planning. We're thinking once everything calms down, because we don't have much money, you know.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
hear you.
buying a house is more important than
Of
a wedding.
course. We got to get you
So
set up safe first.
exactly. But
Mhm.
what we're gonna do is, which is fun, is we're just gonna do a pop-up wedding in the downtown, like, Chicago, and, like, just, like, do it in the middle, like, how people do break dancing, you know, group dances. We're just gonna have a wedding, like, out of nowhere, and have speakers and do it in the fountains in the park.
Oh,
And
wow, that's cool.
yeah, so you'll be invited. You
So
can
like
still
a
come.
flash mob.
Yeah, it's a flash mob wedding. So
That's
that's what
so
we're gonna
neat.
do. It's cheap, and you know what? We get to share our love with the world, and that's what I wanna do, is share our love story with the world, because our love story saved my life. And
Hopefully I can rent a vehicle by that time because my Jeep is probably not going to make it out to
so
Chicago.
it's gonna take some time, don't
Yeah,
worry. Like I said, I gotta buy a house now, so that's
I
more
hear you.
important than a wedding. So yeah, getting the house is the most important thing right now, and
Mhm.
like I said, have 18 days to figure out these forms, and, like, staying here or leaving, and, that's not enough time to figure this out. I don't feel
I
like
hear
that I need to figure it out, so I'm just gonna keep praying on it, and,
that.
see
Yeah.
whatever door God has for me.
And if you need help with the forms, myself, my daughter might be able to help you decipher some of it. My daughter's brilliant with that kind of stuff. She's actually kind of like a genius brain, so
That's
she's
awesome.
excellent at doing that stuff. So just reach out,
I can't even believe how old your daughter is now,
I'm
and
almost 59, girl.
you do not look it, though. Let's be
Thank
real.
you.
You look 32. Let's
I
be
don't feel like I'm 59 almost either.
real.
I'm pretty
You look
physically active and really working on my weight loss and stuff. So
I've
I'm sure that
seen, and you've
helps.
been doing great. You've
Yeah,
lost so much. You've
I'm
been
sure
doing great.
working on it.
You've been doing great.
Well,
I've
yeah,
been
when I
following.
saw you the first time years ago at APAC, which is now no more, I don't even know what it is now. They've changed the name so many times and then closed it down, but it was a call center and I was quite obese back then. I was very, very big and I was having seizures. That's why I quit
Yeah, the lights were
from
causing
the
you
lights.
seizures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
horrible.
they were being so rude about it too. Like, about you taking time off the calls. I
Mhm.
remember that. I
Yeah,
ended up
it
just
was
leaving that
very
job too,
stressful.
because that
Very
job is just ugh.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But we got to meet, so that was a positive.
That
We got
was the
to meet.
best thing about it, definitely.
That
There's
was
not many people that can say they stayed in touch with their coworker, like, years later, you know?
right?
That's
And
pretty
at a
cool.
job that was like a call center type job.
Really? I know. Kinda funny. Small world, huh?
It is a small world, but I appreciate you just letting me into your world even more by allowing me on your channel. I really appreciate it.
I'm
Thank you
happy
so
to.
much.
Alright, well, yeah, anytime you wanna come and, have anything to share, you're welcome here. Anybody else you know that needs a voice, this is the place. This is what I do. Other than I
Mhm.
walk squares around my property every day, 1 to 3 squares every day. I'm doing it for 30 days. I think I'm on 27 tomorrow. So I've
Aw,
been at it for a while.
good for you. See, you're getting it. I've been losing weight, but it's just pure stress. It's not probably the healthiest weight loss, so
Right. That's
I'm
what they
hoping it
say.
doesn't come right back though. Um,
Right. Hopefully not.
but yeah, the one positive of all of this is I've lost, like, I think 20 pounds.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. That's
she
definitely
is
awesome.
a true friend. You are absolutely right. She is a true friend. She's always been there supporting me, not even knowing what was really going on with my story because I was all over the place, and she could see that. I was all
Yeah.
over the map,
Yeah.
and she was just always anytime she could say something positive and nice and comment where she could and be supportive, and, you've always been that way, and so you've just always been a great friend, a great advocate, a great
Thanks.
mother. You're a great person, and
Thank
so I'm lucky to have a friend in you. I am lucky. I'm blessed for that.
you. I am very blessed to have you as my friend as well.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for just listening to me rant about this. I know there's like, of course, there's so much more that can always be said, right? Life stories are long, as long as
Yeah,
they're
for
life.
sure. For
So
sure.
there's so much that can be said. But just to put it all short and sweet, like that's pretty much the situation. I'm escaping a raping, narcissistic abuser, um, who also did wrongful things to our daughter and was grooming her for sexual assault, and I'm caught in the act pretty much of doing that. We have the OP against him. It is official, so we are safe from him for 2 years. So that is a win right there. But unfortunately, like I said, we couldn't celebrate that win because we had a loss that week, and that was that our home is now, um, how
Not
it's
safe anymore.
it's not compromised. Our living situation has become compromised. So
Right.
the safety that this home was supposed to provide is no longer, and there's nothing that the school district can do that can renew that.
Right.
So, other than giving me the money for the down payment. So that's
Mhm.
all they could do. So I don't know. Hopefully um, with your prayers, and if anybody wants to share the link, and share it around, let other people know this situation and this story and how my son did not get the justice he deserved at school and how the school failed him, and how this is beyond just bullying at this point. This is not just bullying we're dealing with. This is
Mhm.
and
And
the seriousness of
when
it.
this goes to the news, if you send me that link, I will post it on my community page as well to keep
Okay.
people aware of it.
All right, absolutely. I am in the middle of writing a lot of different news stations about the situation so that they can know.
Excellent.
But
All right.
thank you, everyone. I've taken up so much of your time, but I appreciate all of you and I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you
Well,
so much.
thanks. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Wish me
God
luck.
bless.
God bless you all. Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Dolly, you are awesome. Your comments were wonderful and supportive. And I know Ashton needs that right now. I appreciate anybody that watches this later. Thank you. Um, I'm just thankful for even a couple people that came in because Ashton needs to know that people care. She's been suffering for a long time, and sometimes you don't really know how to help people. And I'm just thankful I have a YouTube channel that I can be a voice for the voiceless. That's what I've always wanted to be. And that's what my channel started out as, helping people that were abused by narcissists, helping them get free, helping them cope, helping them believe in themselves enough to leave. There's a couple other people right now I'm kind of inadvertently working with to escape their own situations. So keep me in prayer, because I definitely can't do it on my own. Only by the grace of Yahweh up there can I do anything or even have a voice myself. So I appreciate you all. I'm going to close down for now. My voice is getting very tired since this morning when I was babbling on my walk the squares, and now this. So I'm going to go and rest my voice a little bit, but I appreciate you for coming in. And again, I will be posting that GoFundMe link on my community page. Please pass it along to people you know that can help. Her children are beautiful, and on the GoFundMe, you will see her children. So you know that she actually does have 3 children, what they look like. Her youngest son has autistic problems, issues, challenges, if you will. Her other daughter has been bullied. Her current son that you heard about has been bullied. She's in Chicago, so schools there, you know, they cannot be very safe at times. And actually, schools everywhere aren't the best anymore. So yes, she needs your prayers. She needs your support. She needs your donations if you can. If nothing else, just, you know, send positive vibes her way. Whatever you can do is greatly appreciated. Love you all. Thank you again for coming. And I'm going to head off of here and go give my husband back his computer. Have a great night, everybody. Have a good evening. God bless you. Bye.